President's rule is set to end in 2 weeks. And I am Sagrika Kisu with my colleague Praveen Jain in Manipur's Churchandpur to speak to Ginza Vualzong, who is the spokesperson of two prominent Kuki Zo organizations, the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum and the Kuki Zo Council. So, Ginza, my first question to you is that the president's rule is nearing 1 year. It's going to be 1 year of president's rule. So there are two options. Either the president's rule will be extended or there will be a formation of a popular government. So I wanted to understand that what kind of talks you are in with the government. What has been the 1 year of president's rule been like for you?
Well, the president rule is about to be over, and I think by next month it's going to expire. And I learned that the central government is trying to install the popular government again. And for that, the Kuki Zo Council, we have already made our statement saying that our MLA should not join the popular government because of the atrocity that we have faced in the past almost 3 years since May 2023. Our people have been killed, our houses have been burned, and so many other unspeakable atrocity that we have faced. Because of that, it's not logical for us to join the government with the same people who are trying to do away with us. That's why the Kuki Zo Council and also ITLF, we all made our stand that we should not join the popular government in this current situation.
Also, if I remember correctly, a BJP leader from Bishnupur has said that even if Kuki MLAs don't join us, we will form a popular government. So, what do you have to say about such claims?
Of course, if the Métis wanted to form a government, it's none of our business. They can go ahead and form. It's just that we don't want our MLA to participate. We have no issue with them forming the government.
So, what has been 1 year of president's rule been like for the Kuki areas, Kuki-dominated regions? Has it changed? Has it changed something for the Kuki population?
The law and order and the security situation have improved. But then just yesterday, at Kangpopi district, in the Kuki Zo village called Ke Songlung has been burned by ZUF Zilangrong, United Front of the S. Kamsong group. They have burned the entire village. So this proved that the law and order, the current president rule is not able to control the law and order, and is not able to protect its citizen. So it's kind of disappointing also. But then as compared to the previous government, I see a lot of improvement in the president's rule.
So you said one thing that Kukis don't mind if Métis want a popular government. It doesn't concern you. So is that for you to say that the Kukis are looking for a separate administration, which you have been demanding for some time now?
Right. We have, because of the various atrocity which I have mentioned earlier, we feel that we can no longer live in the same government with the Métis anymore. That's why we have demanded a separate administration from the government in the form of UT with legislature, which is under the Indian Constitution. So we wanted to have a separate administration. So if the Métis wanted to form a government of their own, it's their own wish, and we don't want to be part of their government. We just want to be separated, and we want our different government, separate government for ourselves.
There is a fresh controversy which has erupted in Manipur, and that has also caught national attention, and that is the killing of a Meitei man, Rishi Kanta, whose video also went viral, right? So it was said that it has been claimed by the family of Rishi Kanta that he was killed because he was a Meitei. So how far is that true? And also that Rishi Kanta was living in Churchandpur for a month is what the police investigation has revealed. So why had he was he hiding his identity? Why was it learnt later? Because it is said that the villagers of that area where he was living knew that he is a Meitei. So what is this fresh controversy, and do you think that this fresh controversy involving a Kuki woman and a Meitei man is going to further fracture the ties between the Kukis and Meiteis, which are already fractured?
Right. Time and time again, we have issued a press statement saying that we need to respect the buffer zone, so that people from the other side should not cross it, and we also should not cross the buffer zone, so that this life should not be in threat. So the reason why we ask the buffer zone to be respected is that there should not be unnecessary killing. There are many instances before this particular case has become viral. Earlier also, if a Kuki Zo person is crossing the buffer zone and gone to the Meitei territory, they have been killed and they have not been spared. There are many examples and instances which I can name it. So in the same manner, this person, it's very unfortunate that he happened to be, he happened to cross the buffer zone and stays in the Kuki Zo area. And like you said, he must have stayed for almost 1 month, and we didn't get to know it. We only get to know when he was killed. I myself am not aware of the fact that he was in our territory. So when people get to know that a Meitei is living or is inside the territory of the Kuki Zo, that's when this thing happens. So it's very unfortunate. That's why both the Meitei and the Kuki Zo should respect this buffer zone until there is a solution or a kind of understanding is there between the two communities. So until then, people should not roam around, crossing the buffer zone because of the security reason only.
But Meiteis say that there is no buffer zone, and recently the governor of Manipur, A.K. Balla, said that this all buffer zone is a sham. There is no buffer zone. It is a misleading tactic. So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, the Meitei wanted to do away with the buffer zone, and that's why this calling buffer zone as a shame or it's not there. That is their narrative.
But what do you have to say about even the governor in the government is not recognizing it?
I don't know why the governor said so, because physically there's a buffer zone and the security force are guarding it, and we cannot just cross just randomly. So this buffer zone is announced by the Union Home Minister himself when he came last, and he because of the ethnic conflict, to ensure that loss of lives can be prevented, this buffer zone has been introduced, and the security force are standing in guard so that no one can just pass through easily so that they can get killed. That is the very reason why buffer zones are there. In fact, when the Prime Minister of India came here, he has to visit 2 places in Manipur, one in Churchandpur and one in Imphal. That is also because there is a buffer zone. People cannot just cross randomly, and that is why the Prime Minister has to specifically come to this area, and the Meitei cannot come along with him also. And when he goes to Imphal, we cannot follow him also. This shows that there is a buffer zone.
So let me tell my viewers that after the ethnic violence rocked Manipur in 2023, there was an informal buffer zone of sorts created because the Kuki people living in Imphal moved to Kuki dominated areas in hills to save themselves, and the Meiteis went to Imphal in the Meitei dominated areas to save themselves. At that point in time, it was seen as a temporary emergency situation where the community people were living together, but over a period of time in last 2 years, these differences, this boundary line created within the state has gotten entrenched, and now the situation is such, if somebody is traveling from Imphal to Churchandpur, they have to pass through 5-6 checkposts, and no Meitei can pass the buffer zone. If there are 6 checkposts. If you find a Meitei man, he is asked to go back, and the Kuki people, they cannot go to Imphal from the hill areas. So if they have to go to any other state, they go via Mizoram, and Mizoram is a arduous 16-hour journey from here. So tell me a little about this divide within the state, this boundary line, right? People in Imphal, the Meiteis, they cannot come here to the Kuki dominated areas, and Kukis from their dominated, Kuki Zo from their dominated areas cannot go there.
Right.
So what is, if Meitei has to go somewhere, they can go from the Imphal airport, but what is for the Kuki Zo? If they have to go anywhere, which route do they follow?
Right, like you said, we have to, since we cannot pass through the Imphal Valley anymore, it will be a risk of life, and there are many instances where people are being killed just because they are Kuki Zo. So in order to avoid that, we have to go via Mizoram, which take about 12 to 14 hours of travel. So we also, apart from this Mizoram line, we also have this inter-villages road which connect Churachandpur, Lamka and Kangpokpi. It is a Kacha road, but then this road also is currently being blocked by some section of the Nagas, and currently there is a problem in this section. So now we only have these options of traveling through Mizoram. So that is the case.
You are the spokesperson of 2 important Kuki organizations, Kuki Zo organizations, right? So I wanted to understand from you that a week ago a sexual violence victim died, and it was said that she died because she could not bear the trauma of sexual violence.
Right.
How the situation has been after that, and what are the Kuki Zos doing and thinking of doing ahead?
Right, we get to know about the passing away of one of the sexual violence victim. She has been going through unspeakable trauma, and we get to know very late. She passed away on the 11th of this month, and we only get to know much later. And the moment we get to know about her demise, ITLF immediately organized a candlelight vigil in honor of her, and then we did a press release about what happened, and slowly this news has been captured by the national media also, and now I think it's all in the national media. And also the women folks, the women organization also organized a sit-in protest in regards to her demise, because it is very unfortunate that even after going through such a horror experience, she could not survive, and she has to succumb to her injuries. So this kind of reminds us what we have gone through in the past 2 years. Right now, the situation is coming to almost like normal, and everyone is going back to their normal life, and we are busy with our own life. Then her death has reminded us what all we have gone through, what all she has gone through, and it's kind of a reminder again for us that okay, we have gone through so much, so many pains, and we need to we need to fight more strongly ever than before. That is what we're feeling.
My last 2 questions to you. One, that after the killing of Rishikanta, it is being said that diktats were passed and said that if anybody is married to a Meitei, they should not come back to the Kuki dominated area if a Kuki is married to a Meitei. How true is that? And also, we are hearing that the Kuki Zos are upset with that woman, that Rishi Kanta's partner, that why would she get a Meitei man in the Kuki areas, despite knowing that the situation is a little, situation is not normal. So what do you have to say about both these things?
This case of inter-community marriage, there are many instances. Even many of our women were killed just because they were married to a Meitei. There are people who have been killed because they were married to a Meitei person. So, since we are going through an ethnic conflict, okay, this is kind of sort of happening, and you cannot stop it. Also, that's why it's advisable to stay away from the area where emotions are still high. The woman could have met her husband somewhere in a neutral places like Aizawl or Guwahati. She should not have brought. I think the husband was from Nepal. I think Nepal. She came from Nepal, and then they meet here in Zurochandpur. They could have met
working in Nepal.
They could have met in neutral place like Aizawl or Guwahati, which is safe. And bringing someone into the heart of our territory, and that too, if I may use the word enemy, we consider them as enemies. So bringing someone from the enemy into the community is like inviting, a security threat. That's why I think the woman is very foolish enough to bring her husband, because these things are sometimes unavoidable. How much can the society will be able to protect the Meitei man? So I think it's a mistake from her part.
And what about the diktat? Like, if anybody...
No, there is no such diktat. It's common sense. I would say it's common sense. If you're married to someone who is involved in the ethnic conflict, then you should have avoided. No, you should have moved out somewhere which is safe. So it's like a common sense. There's no such. We do not. ITLF or Kajetsu, any organization do not issue any kind of diktat. It's like common sense.
My last question to you, what is the way forward, way ahead for the Kuki Zo community? What are your demands, and how long will you keep fighting?
See, yesterday's incident of burning down one of the Kuki Zo village, indicates that the Kuki Zo are not safe in Manipur. Our rights are not being protected, our lives are not being protected. So it is obvious that we should, after all we have gone through, even under the president rule, we are not safe in Manipur. That's why for our safety and for our political rights, survival, we need to have a separate administration, which is under the provision of the Indian Constitution. The Indian Constitution allow creation of new state or UT. So we are demanding something which is within the Indian Constitution, so that we can govern ourselves, we can protect our life, we can start developing ourselves. This is what we ask from the government.
Do you think there is any end to this ethnic conflict between the Meiteis and the Kuki Zo?
For us, yeah, that's why we demanded separate administration, UT legislature. We feel that if we get a separate administration, slowly, that the peace will come to the region. We will be peaceful neighbors, and slowly there will be peace and justice for everyone.
Thank you for speaking to us. This was Sagrika Kisu with Praveen Jain from Manipur. Keep following us for more such videos.